Interesting spring training behind you. A lot of competition in spring training. You came here. What was the whole process like for you?
I mean, really good so far. Obviously, not the start to the regular season, but in terms of me being part of this organization, everything I've done so far is first class. It's been really good. My favorite part of being on a new team, new organization is just getting to know the guys, getting to know the staff, getting to know, the people within the organization. Just full of really good people, do things the right way. And so, kind of check all of those boxes. It's been really good. Enjoyed it. Enjoyed getting to know the guys, and excited to get in there tonight.
Zach Short mentioned that you've been extremely helpful to him, and Brett Batty mentioned in spring training that you really were helpful to him. Who was the guy for you when you were coming up that made that extra effort to go out of his way to help you out?
Yeah, I mean, there's a handful of guys, that come to mind. I mean, came up, had my first cup of coffee with the Athletics. Marcus Simeon was a guy that I always followed, always kind of looked up to him and the way that he did things, the way he went about his business. He's certainly a guy that comes to mind. Early in my time in Tampa, the Nard Span was on the team. I remember really thinking highly of the way that he did things and kind of modeled a lot of the things that I do now, on Denard, and there's been various coaches, many other players. Those are the two that kind of come to mind right now. But yeah, it's gosh, those guys are Beatty's such a talent. Short, we have very similar skill sets. So to be on the same team as him was fun, really great. He made the team. He 100% earned it, and he's going to be a big contributor.
When you're on other organizations and you see other teams from afar, you don't really get to know a lot of the personalities in the clubhouse. Who's one of the guys that when you got in that clubhouse said, wow, I never realized how much this guy does and what he means to the team?
Oh, I mean, I think it's true in some ways for almost all the guys. I had a chance to play with Francisco in the minor leagues, but I would probably say Nemo, Pete, just those two guys. See what they've done on the field, but just kind of what they bring off the field and the leadership that they bring, and they're vocal and they're right in the thick of everything. So to kind of to see that firsthand has been pretty neat for me.
Small sample size. I don't know if you're one of those guys that reads a newspaper, social media, but New York obviously is different. 3-game losing streak. I think there's a handful of teams since early 1920s that the most games they lost this season were 3 in a row. But here the sky's falling. Is it different here in New York, even though it's only 3 games? Do you feel it?
That hasn't been my experience so far. I mean, in terms of the media and that, all the interactions that I've had have been very good, very professional. I'm not somebody that really keeps up on social media or, reading the newspaper, but, I'm certainly aware of what's going on around the game. And, I can't imagine that people are happy that we've started out winless in the first 3 games, and the people inside the clubhouse are not happy about that either, obviously. We have much higher expectations for our season than that. But, this game it pays. It's very beneficial to have a short memory. Can't do anything about those last 3 games. And we're focusing on tonight. We got 1 game at a time. We got 159 left, so we're focused on those.
Lastly, there's a faction of this fan base has been there since the beginning, like myself, and then there's newcomers. The older ones, baseball's change and evolve. In 1986, what happened the other day wouldn't have just been the benches emptying. Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
I'm old school. That was one of the things I enjoyed about playing in the infield. But obviously, with the new rules, there's certain expectations guys have. So, I personally don't really like any of the little changes except for the timer. If I'm being honest, I think the timer and the change of pace of the game has been great, but I think all the other ones have largely taken away from the game.